The Buschy and Bobo Show, a healthy scratch podcast. Here's your hosts, Kyle Busch and Brian Rager.
Welcome back to episode 12 of the Buschy and Bobo podcast on healthyscratch.ca. We've had a couple week hiatus. We were just kind of chilling, nothing to talk about. Now we got a lot to talk about because we're into the Stanley Cup Finals. And Bobo, we got Canadians and Lightning. What do you think of that matchup?
I know you're happy that Vegas is out. I know that much because you hate their success, and especially because they're a team that hasn't had any failure.
Bye.
I
don't like the Canadians either.
Yeah, I understand that. So it's pick your poison there. I was really hoping that the Islanders would take out Tampa. Not necessarily just because I like the Islanders better. It doesn't mean I don't like watching Tampa play. They're a good team. I just want to see. That was a great series to watch. But I'm except for some calls and stuff. I know we're going to talk about that later on. But it's Montreal, Tampa. I know a lot of people are going to be jumping on the Montreal bandwagon.
We're going to talk about that too.
Oh yeah, but I know my dad's
been
a Habs fan his whole life, so he's happy. Me, I just want to see a good series.
Yeah,
good hockey, and yeah.
We can break that down later, I guess. First thing I wanted to start with is something just fun and nitpicky, and I think this is where, I don't know, it's just funny shit that we talk about because everybody's talking about the finals, everybody's talking about the reffing, and we'll talk about the reffing, but I don't know, I just like when we do like dumb shit. So one thing that has been that has bothered me for like forever, like I'm talking, before time.
Me not using a green screen.
That, yeah, because you look like a clown. But, yeah, like your arm goes away.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to
pipes
get my
are gone.
My sheet. I had no pipes to begin with.
Oh yeah. So it's ever since I've been like a Red Wings fan and I knew like about them. Every time I'm driving down the street and I see somebody that has like, you see the decals, you see your Leafs decal, Canadians, whatever, all looks good. Every freaking time I see a Red Wings decal, why are they tilted?
Like how? Which way?
They're supposed to be like this, right? They
tilt
them.
Oh yeah, so they try to center. No,
I don't know what they're trying to do.
The wing wheel itself is supposed to go up. Like the wing itself is supposed to go up, like on the jersey.
Yeah, like I bet you had to type in Red Wings decal right now, and I think people actually say decal. But anyway, decal. It's supposed to look like this. And it's straight down, but they'll do it like this, and they'll tilt it.
Which makes no sense. That looks ugly as shit.
You know what that says to me? You're not a Red Wings fan. Because it fits on your back window. Okay, first of all, let's just say that if you put decals on your car, just no matter what they say, just know it reads "I'm poor."
I had it on my old car.
Well, there you go.
And it was a poor man's car.
Yeah, that's one thing that just always bothered me. It was like, put the freaking logo the proper way. Why is it tilted? That's like getting the Canucks logo and putting it like this way. Like so the C is like this. What are you doing? It's not like they don't have the room. It's just they're stupid. Stupid people. I hate stupid
right now because I found exactly what you're talking about. I found exactly. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I'm sending it through the chat on here. I just sent it to you through the chat on Zoom.
This is going to download real quick here. Wings decal. Decal.
It's exactly what you're talking about, right?
Can I open this? Or how? Yeah, all right. I'm going to pull this up. We'll share the screen real quick. Let me...
on the fly thing right here. It makes no sense. Yeah. If you're gonna, or the people too, the ones I hate are when it's like 7 sports merged in one. Like for Pittsburgh, you have that looks absolutely stupid. That's probably on a Chevy Cavalier.
Like, what are you doing? That you have to tilt it like that, like they did it on purpose. It's so common. It happens all the time, and it just bothers me.
You know what? It
Because they're
reminds me
clearly
of,
just posers, man. I'm a Red Wings fan. No, you're not. You
know
don't
what it
even know how the
reminds-
logo goes.
It reminds me of like someone wearing a Chinese knockoff jersey to a game, trying to pass it off as an authentic.
Yeah. Well,
Say,
I mean,
no,
okay, that's just
No.
you got to wear a jersey, wear a jersey. But
yeah,
like at the
but
same
no,
time,
when people are saying, "No, I got this from so and so," but
No,
you
you
can
didn't.
tell it's the
it's got a
lettering
fight
is-
strap on it. Yeah, it's fake.
Yeah,
Like, there's some you can tell. I mean, it's pretty easy to tell. I mean, we could tell stories about bad jerseys like that you see at a hockey game. And it's
buddy.
like,
How many
remember we went to
times
that Lions game and we saw that guy. We were going to I think we
The
were going to the
bus
bus station
the
from.
tucked in Barry Sanders jersey?
Yeah.
I know exactly where you're going there.
What do you
Tucked
do
in jerseys
tucking in your
make no
jersey?
sense.
If you tuck in your jersey, you're just an absolute boob.
You piece sitting down.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just like funny things that. So we're gonna talk about fans later about how they.
Oh,
they
and you know what? When we talk about fans, but we'll get into some of that stuff. Just because now you've opened at.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get
part
that
of my
going.
brain there.
Yeah, something to look forward to. Okay, something also now. I think the theme is stupid people this week.
Yeah.
So now this has been a second, but the Colorado Avalanche got eliminated, and they were, in my opinion, like cup favorites because I really like their team. We broke down their roster with Zinger in one of our episodes, and they have a lot of talent. They're going to be good for another few years. Now, we have also showed that Brian and I interviewed Nathan MacKinnon at one point. Okay. Now, if we put these two, we're gonna play a part of an interview that a professional journalist actually asked Nathan MacKinnon after they got eliminated.
20-something-year-old Buschy.
Let's just compare, and also let's just put this in perspective. They just got eliminated. We were asking him questions after they lost 10-3.
Yeah.
So he was in the same mindset here. Okay. We're gonna play this. I'm definitely going to show, for people watching, we'll show the video so you can see Nathan MacKinnon here getting eliminated by Vegas and just the reaction he has to this specific question. He had the same reaction to a lot of them, but this is amazing. Let's just go ahead and listen to this bad boy.
Hey, I know you're a gamer and all this, and I'm just thinking maybe out loud as far as in your shoes right now. It's like, all right, we've done all the thing we can do. We've done all the game planning we can do. Maybe just fuck it. We'll just go in next year and just not think that anymore and just win this thing when we don't think so much. Is that good? Am I on the right path at all with this? Like maybe you just guys think a little too much.
He's just like, what? He's so like, what are you talking about? Dude, it literally brings tears to my eyes because it's such a stupid question. What are you asking him?
And if you want to look it up, you could just search Nathan MacKinnon interview, and it's one of the ones on Sportsnet from like 2 weeks ago. It's the game, at least Buschy said after game 6, but just his facial reaction and just
he's just like this. He's pissed. He's just going like, he's like, honestly, what do you
like you smelled a bad fart?
Yeah. Okay. Let's break this down in terms of both ways. Okay. If you're the journalist, and we are not journalists, but we're not morons. Okay. If you're what are you going to ask this guy after getting eliminated? Like, they don't want to talk to you. Like, I think they have to do away with
post-game
right after. They're not going to say anything. Now, like tidbits like this are amazing, but it had nothing to do with the player. They're just pissed off. They just lost. They're not happy. What do you want them to say? Well, like, what did you have to do better? I don't know. Win? Like,
especially when it's something like, and then I didn't mean to cut you out there, but just especially when it's, what do you think? Do you just go back next year and say, fuck it, let's win this thing? Like, no shit. That's what you're in the league to do.
Like, do you think just like, fuck it? Well, like, what was that? Like, so he was obviously, I think, trying to make it like a light question.
Yeah.
But man, what do you mean? Do you think like you just fuck it? You like think too much? Like, it was like such a stoner pothead question. And this guy was getting grilled on Twitter. Like, let me tell you, when I saw that, I was like, oh, this guy is getting crushed. And he's even like, after, he's like, oh yeah, it was just like, he tried to say like he just was trying to ask a question a certain way, like regretted saying it. It's just like, what were you thinking?
Know your audience.
Apparently he's done something like this before, like in terms of asking like really stupid questions. And it's like, what did you think he was gonna respond with? And if I'm Nathan MacKinnon, I'm doing the same thing. Like, dude, what are you like?
Yeah.
What are you asking me?
And it's funny because, like you said, this guy's a journalist, and I don't know how old he is or how long he's been doing it, but I listen to that, and then I go back to when we interviewed him. And we're not journalists; we're just guys that were writing hockey because we like it.
Yeah,
and we're doing this just because we like it. But like I said, they got blown out 10-3.
Yeah,
and you had more like sense that know your audience and know your situation. Like, Jesus,
the questions that I think these guys ask, it always needs to be open ended. Because there's obvious things where it's like, well, how's okay, like let's pretend you're the player, right?
Okay.
Just put yourself in that mindset, and I'll ask you a question. Pretend you were Nathan MacKinnon. You just got eliminated. And he says, he's like, I've been in the league 9 freaking years. I haven't won shit. That's what he said afterwards. I mean, if we kept going. Okay, Brian, you just got eliminated again. Wouldn't you like maybe just say like, fuck it? Like maybe you just think too much.
Next question.
Yeah, what do you want to say? Like, yeah, you're right. Actually, we should just say fuck it and not think and like not plan.
This is a video game. Fuck it. Let's just make it go on.
No, just do it live.
Yeah, we're just gonna call up. We're gonna try to make a trade now for McDavid and give him 5 first-round picks, and we're gonna try to call in or Tampa and get Vasilevsky and
when they say something like it's a yes or no question. It's like, how's the room feeling right now? What do you think we just lost? What do you want me to say? We're having a fucking party in there? We're not.
Oh yeah, guys are just bumping lines off strippers' asses right now.
Yeah, it's like
you should go see.
Yeah, it's not the way that you should be asking these questions. If you are going to ask something and you want them to talk, it has to be simple, open-ended. Hey Nathan, what went wrong out there? You know what I mean? You were favored. What went wrong? You couldn't score. What went wrong? Even that, it's like, what do you want him to say? It's like, we couldn't score. Like we made all these adjustments. They played better, but like, what do you
take from this series moving forward? Like it's
like, I don't know. Like, I guess we'll try not to lose next time. So
you need is supposed to put the puck in the net to win games. Oh, okay. It's not like golf. Lowest score wins. Okay.
Yeah. So I just thought that was interesting and just it was really funny to me. Like just the way that the guy asked the question, but something a little I don't want to say serious, but like a little more serious than that is so like we said, draft lottery comes and goes. Buffalo first overall pick. We got 3 Michigan Wolverines at the top, and this is actually kind of sucks because I usually go and watch Michigan play like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah,
get to watch these guys.
Yeah, if you're able to go, obviously you haven't been able to go over. Now you've been, hey Bobo, let's go over to watch a game. Well, and college hockey it's fun to watch.
It is fun. So you go to the Great Lakes Invitational, you go to the Duel in the D, which is Michigan, MSU, Big Ten. Yeah. They were supposed to have Frozen 4 there this year, and then they changed it.
And I would love to go up. I would love to go like up to Ann Arbor or go to East Lansing and see a game at their home arenas.
I've never gone. That would be so fun to do. I would love to
just a college barn. That'd be.
Oh yeah, Yost.
Yeah, go to that or go to Mun Ice in East Lansing and.
Yeah, like so the players I'm talking about: Owen Power, Kent Johnson, Matt Beniers. But Owen Power is supposedly going to be number 1. But I've seen some mock drafts where Beniers goes 1. But Owen Power might be doing something, and I want to hear your opinion on it, because there's a rumor that even if he goes first overall, he's going to go back to Michigan. So Owen Power's a defenseman. So if he got picked first overall by Buffalo,
isn't Luke Hughes Michigan as well?
No, Quinn Hughes' brother was.
Yeah, Luke Hughes. He's a Michigan.
He's national development.
Oh, he's committed to Michigan.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Come on. I had no idea. That's pretty.
Sweet. I just looked him up, and I saw him. I know he was.
It happened
with
US
DNP, but
it happened with Jack Hughes as well. Jack Hughes wasn't even in college when he got drafted. He was on the national development team. Quinn was with Michigan for a year before Vancouver picked him.
Yeah.
So Luke is going to go to Michigan too.
To 2021, 2022.
Well, and I mean, Jack Hughes he went right to the NHL.
Yeah.
He didn't even go to college, right? So with Owen Power saying he might go back to Michigan, do you think that's is that the path that he should go, or do you think it's a mistake?
Well, you look
You're
at
going first overall.
You're going first over. Like, I can see where he's coming from. Like, he sees the dumpster fire. He's a hockey guy. He's watching hockey. He knows what's going on in the league. He sees the dumpster fire that is Buffalo. And when they took Eichel second overall, and they've had these guys, like top guys come in, and not top guys, but guys come in and out. Does he want to be a part of that? I know. Yeah, I could be this franchise guy, but look at this. Has Eichel had success there? No. Did they have success with Taylor Hall? No. Ristolainen, Dahlin. It's like just a big. If he were to go to Michigan, like, he's 18 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, he'll be 19 by the time next year rolls around. Because he's November birth date. It's when you're at college, he gets that experience with a higher, another year of college, a full season too, right? Like a regular college season. So it's a little bit different there. He gets that back into it rather than going straight to the end. Like, I could see where if you were to go back to college for one more year, I wouldn't blame him.
I want you to go line in the sand. So you think he should go back?
If he were to go back, I wouldn't blame him.
I want you to. You're Owen Power. Are you going back, or are you going to the NHL? What are you doing?
I'd go back one more year.
Okay, because I feel like he should go to Buffalo. Because here's why: he's got nothing to prove. He's already been in Michigan. He had 26 games this year, 16 points as a defenseman, as a freshman. Okay, yeah. That's pretty damn impressive. And I feel like if we probably brought up Quinn Hughes' numbers, they'd be a little bit better. But Owen Power is not like this crazy offensive defenseman like Quinn Hughes. I think he should go and he played in the World Championships. He actually didn't play that much. And then by the end of the tournament, like when they lost the first 3 games, he didn't really play at all. He had like 5 minutes of ice time, maybe. By the end of the tournament, he was their best defenseman. I think he's ready right now. He's a big dude. He's 6'5", 211. It's not like he has to, he might still fill out a little more muscle. Like, you can still work on skating, stuff like that. I feel like he has nothing left to prove playing, NCAA hockey. If anything, he needs to turn pro, whether that be with Buffalo or with Rochester. And maybe he starts there. But that's what I think he needs to do. Now, if we flip this, okay, we just talked about the player aspect of it. So you think he should go back and dominate and get a little bit more confidence, get a little game more.
Exactly. Just because that was only a 26-game season. Like you said, compared to Quinn Hughes, I brought up Hughes' stats from his freshman year at Michigan there. And 37 games, 29 points.
Similar.
Yeah, very similar. But again, more games, get a longer schedule, a little bit of a longer schedule, get your legs. Even though, like you said, he's played Powers played international already. He's played World Championships. He played the U17s in 2018.
I'm more of the impression of, if you're ready to play, you should be in there. Like, I read an article about Mo Sider coming over and if he makes the team. If he makes the team, I think it was Bob Duff. Listen, Bob, he's going to make the team. He's their best player. He's going to be. You can't argue that. If Owen Power was on the Sabres now, he'd be a top defenseman. Of course they have. Even Rasmus Dahlin's not that good. He's okay, but when he was the number 1 pick, they thought this guy's going to be a phenom. It's he isn't yet. He might be. If you look at it from Buffalo, if you're Kevin Adams and you draft Owen Power, which maybe they draft Matt Beniers, I don't know. But if they draft Owen Powers, do you play him, or do you put him in the minors, or do you let him go back to Michigan if you're the GM? Because you might have the same mindset that you just did. I don't know.
If I'm the Sabres and I take him number 1, the big thing is going to be having that conversation and make sure they're on the same page.
I know that. I'm going to assume they're going to do that no matter what. I'm just saying, what would you do?
It's not going to be a good situation here. Buffalo is a dumpster, is a trash can. I'm not saying I'm the GM speaking this to him, but it's not going to be. You're probably going to have a bad year compared to college. do you go to Rochester? Like, I don't know how Rochester did in the AHL. Like, do you go and have them develop as a pro for a year and then see how he is, or call him up halfway?
Yeah, I think the thing is like if you probably put him in Rochester, he'll probably dominate enough where like you would have no choice but to call him up.
Almost like a Cole Caulfield situation.
Yeah, but it would go quick. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I think
he goes to Rochester.
I think he's in Buffalo immediately. But
he can make Buffalo immediately. Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Buffalo, that's why, right?
That's why I'm saying
because they can look at Rasmus Dahlin and go like, maybe we actually stunted his development by bringing him here too quick, putting the fucking pressure of the world on him, like he's the savior and all this stuff. And it's like, dude, let the kid breathe and just play first.
Yeah.
So,
and
but I don't think
Owen
Power is not. He's not Rasmus Dahlin. He's more two-way in my opinion, but he's a bigger dude too. So anyway, yeah, I was just kind of bringing that up just to see what you would think about that. Because sometimes that does happen, but with a first overall pick, I wonder what was the last time a first overall pick didn't play that year? I wonder if we could look that up. Let's look that up. NHL first overall picks. Just like going through all of them. Okay, so like Lafreniere, he played right away, did he not? Yep. Hughes did, Dahlin did, Hischier did, Matthews, McDavid, Ekblad, MacKinnon, Yakupov, Nugent-Hopkins, Hall, Tavares, Stamkos, Kane, Eric Johnson. I'm not 100% sure.
I'll look him up.
Crosby, Ovechkin, maybe Marc-Andre Fleury, but he's a goalie.
Yeah, and that's
Nash
the one
played,
thing.
Kovalchuk played. Like you were always there. So like if I had to argue it based on the trend, he's playing.
So he's Eric Johnson was taken what in 06, 07?
Yeah. 06. St. Louis.
So he played in 06, 07 back in Minnesota.
Okay, so that was the last time.
And then as soon as like he went pro in 07 or 08, he played 69 games in St. Louis and 1 game in Peoria.
You know what is actually bananas looking at this right now? If you look at number 1 picks from 2020, and let's just even count Owen Power as, okay, 2021, that's 1 defenseman. 2018, Dahlin. 2014, Ekblad. 2006, Johnson.
96,
Phillips. Berard, Jovanovski.
Yeah.
And we're like, there's not a lot of defensemen that go first overall. I just realized that.
No.
Not a lot at all, actually. So, yeah, well, I mean, maybe that's an argument for or against it, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with Owen Power.
Buffalo needs anything and everything.
Oh, they do.
So,
because they have some crappy contract situations. They got a lot of like with buyouts and like speaking of buyouts, I've got some interesting ones. If you this will be fun for you, okay?
Okay.
So there's a list of NHL buyouts that are expiring this summer and how much the player was paid, okay? So there's about 10 of them here. So this isn't even the ones that are wait a minute. Oh, there's a few that are still going. So here's the ones that are expiring right now. Okay, ready?
Okay.
So let's see if you can guess them. Don't look them up. Let's see if you can guess which ones just expired. I'll tell you the team and the year that contract was signed, okay?
Okay.
Toronto 2013. He's a forward.
2013.
If you don't get it in like 10 seconds, I'll just
David Clarkson.
Mikhail Grabovski.
Oh God.
So it just expired. He was paid $14 million in a buyout. Number 2, this one's gonna be really tough. If you get it, that's impressive. Carolina 2015 Russian forward. I wouldn't have got this one.
Is it the brothers Kostitsyn?
Nope. I'll give you one hint. Bongos.
Seven?
Yeah. Remember he was playing the bongos?
Yeah, that's why as soon as you said bongos.
Yeah, $14 million, Alex Semin. So he signed that in 2015. It just expired.
That's just
so
expired.
Just so people know, like with buyouts, let's just say you have a $1 million contract for say 2 seasons. When you buy that player out, they're paid half of that salary, so $500,000.
But
double the amount of time, so it'll be over 4 seasons. So your cap hit is actually $500K. Easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, makes it a little more manageable. Okay, this one I would have got right away. Detroit 2015.
Filppula?
No, he's still there.
Who's not there? Oh, Datsuk.
No.
Zetterberg.
No, he didn't get bought out.
No, he got traded.
Datsuk's got traded.
Yeah.
Zetterberg's is actually expiring this year because he was on LTIR. Stephen Weiss. He was paid 10 mil. He was horrible. He was horrible. Columbus Blue Jackets 2017. He was paid $5 million. So that's not as much, but
2017.
he fell down a lot. Long orange hair.
Kevin.
Scotty Hartnell. And then there's two more. I don't think you'll get these, but like Edmonton 2017, Benoit Pouliot. And then New Jersey 2017 was Mike Camilleri. Now, some interesting ones that are still going right now. Actually, a few of these are goalies. So one of them, I'll say how long it's going. Philadelphia 2013, and it's done in 2027. They're paying him $23 million.
Ryan Elliott.
No, he's still playing. This guy's done.
Mike Layton.
No, the guy. Hey, man, he's got to be making money. He was good at one point, and then he took a shit.
Fucking.
Why you have to be mad?
Yeah, that's what the next guy was saying was Briz.
Brizgalov. We've got one for Tampa Bay in 2013, all the way to 2027, $32 million. They're still on the books for it.
Trying to think Tampa goalies.
Not a goalie.
Oh, okay.
He was an ex-captain. He was a fan favorite.
St. Louis?
No.
Or LeCavier?
LeCavier. Yep. Ex-Vancouver Canuck, but for Buffalo, 2014 to 2028, $12 million. I think they bought him out like immediately, like 2 years in.
Ex-Vancouver Canuck. He went to Boston.
He's a Kratia.
Oh, Ehrhoff?
Ehrhoff. Yeah. Another guy that's still in the league, but Nashville, from 2020, and I think he got bought out like a year in. He's going to be paid $16 million until 2028.
Mike Fisher.
No, Kyle Turris. Got bought out because he's only making like $1 million in Edmonton. He's shit. And the best one of all, New York Islanders, 2013 to 2029, Rick DiPietro getting paid $24 million.
That guy is just loving life.
Unbelievable. Also, fun fact that I just saw on this, for the third time in 4 years, Kadri's team will be eliminated while he sits in the press box because of a suspension. Just realized that. Anyway, so yeah, buyouts, man. That's the thing where you see a lot of these GMs sign crazy deals and then they just don't work out. Like you said, David Clarkson. It's like David Clarkson was good for like a year, and then they just signed him to like $1 billion, and it's like,
he was supposed to be like unreal in Toronto. That was the
what
big
did you
thing.
think? What did they think was going to happen? Honestly, so yeah, so buyouts. Okay, let's start chirping some fans. How about that?
Oh right, yeah. That's fun.
I will never understand rooting for a team that's not your favorite team. I'll never understand it. Like, for example, I've had people go, "Oh, like you're a Red Wings fan." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, who are you rooting for?" Detroit? They're like, "Yeah, but they're out." Like, who are you going for now? I'm like, "Nobody." Well, what do you mean? You have to be going for someone. I'm like, "No, you don't. Why would you go for a team that isn't your favorite?" You know what I actually think you should be doing is what I do. Root against teams you don't want to win. Like Vegas, Montreal, Toronto,
Boston.
Pittsburgh, Boston, like all these teams that I'm like, don't want them to win. Basically every Canadian team, I'll get to that. But yeah, I don't get it. Like, what, you're just going to adopt a team? Like, what do you think you're going to, oh my God, let's say like the one year, like, oh, Washington won. I love the Capitals. They're like, no, you don't. You started watching them literally a week ago.
That was the one thing. Actually, was it on my Facebook a few weeks ago, if not a month ago. I saw something about like Tampa, like when Yzerman was hired in Tampa and whatnot, and all of a sudden, all these Red Wing fans I'm seeing, I love Tampa. I'm a big Tampa fan. Like, no, you're not. You're not a Tampa fan.
I'm a Steve Yzerman fan.
I
wanted him to do well.
There's a difference. You're an Yzerman fan, and you could be.
But then it's something where because of that, then I really liked watching Stamkos, and now that's a player, right?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a difference between liking a player and then saying you're a fan of the team.
Yeah, them winning the cup last year. What I wasn't like, yeah, Tampa. I'm gonna get
You're
it.
not
Like,
going
no,
out there, you're not buying your Tampa Bay Lightning banner, and
but I had a Stamkos jersey.
yeah,
I did, like the old black one. I think. Did I have a blue one?
yeah,
I think the Chinese ones we were talking about. I had
Yeah.
one of those. I'm paying top dollar when I'm like 22 years old.
No, there's a difference, like you said, between like for me, I'm a Vancouver fan. That's my team. At the same time, being where we're located, am I a Wings fan? No. But if we're going to a game, I'm just hoping for a good game.
Yeah.
I'll go for the Wings.
You're not going to live and die with them. Like
No.
But
I'll hope the Wings do well. I follow them. Like, yeah, come on, do well.
Okay. The other thing that is makes no sense is when someone goes like, this will happen, okay? And it's probably even like a TSN thing. It's a media thing, but also for the like hockey fan that's just so out of the loop. We'll go, oh, Montreal is playing Tampa Bay in the finals. Who are you going to go for? I'm going to go for the Canadian team because we live in Canada. It's like, okay, but like their best young player is from freaking USA. They got one from Finland. Like, it's just because they're in Canada. That's the only reason you're going to go for
Vegas, Tampa, or Vegas, New York. Who would you go?
Well, I don't like either of them. Actually, I like Vegas because I like gambling. And I have $30,000 in credit card debt from gambling at the casinos down on the Strip. So,
strippers and blow.
You want to hear a funny story? When I was in grade 8 and Tampa Bay was playing Calgary in the final, and I know Hursty listens to our pod. Sucks to sucks 2004. The puck was not in. It was in. Or wait, was it not? Wait, what am I talking about? That one save Javi Bullen had on some guy in Calgary, and the camera angle. It was in. It was like, no, it wasn't. You guys lost. Okay, Hursty. It wasn't going to happen. Jerome couldn't get it done. Okay. Kipper couldn't get it done. And now they're just Calgary Flames, and that's it in their Rattle Ring, and that sucks. Anyway, so I remember being at an assembly in grade 8, and for some reason they were asking like, who's going for Calgary? And every dumb kid, I'm going for Calgary, Canada's team, right? And then I was like, who's going for Tampa Bay? And I'm just like, put my hand up. People like, what? And then, I remember Tampa Bay winning, and I just went like, Tampa Bay had a ton of Canadian players. LeCavalier, St. Louis, Andrechuk. Like, they had a ton of guys that were Canadian. Like, doesn't mean that they're just all American. Like,
you know what's funny when you're saying that? Because I'm going, like, even when Edmonton played Carolina in the Cup Final, we had the same sort of thing. Everyone's, let's go Edmonton. I'm just like, Carolina
has a lot of, But
like, the only reason is because they were owned by Peter Kermos or whatever, the guy who used to own the Plymouth Whalers,
right?
So we own them as well. I'm like, I know that name because the OHL. So Carolina,
like Anaheim Ducks 2007. Like every player on their team except like Solani and Paulson were like Canadian apparently. Pronger, Niedermeyer, like all these guys, like they were all Canadian.
I'm watching the goal the goal right now.
It didn't go in.
What a save.
It clearly didn't go in. Great save. Great save by the Bullen wall.
Great nickname.
Oh, yeah. The Bullen wall is awesome.
Probably one of my favorite nicknames.
One of the funniest names that Don Cherry would always mispronounce in all his Rock'em Sock'em videos. He'd say like Hallie Buman. Close enough, you know.
The guy can't pronounce Bieksa.
Bieska.
Kevin Bieska.
And then maybe the last thing we'll talk about, maybe we'll talk about the final a little bit too, is the refereeing in the playoffs. And everybody's talking about it. So like, it's not like we're going to add anything new to it, but it's been a joke, Like it's been pretty bad.
Especially for a playoff too. Like the last two series have just been, I don't know. Like I thought you were supposed to have your best officials in it, but
the problem is that they're calling it differently than they do in the regular season. So you set this precedent from like the beginning of, preseason games to the end of the regular season. And then all of a sudden the playoffs, it changes. And that's not right.
No,
you have a totally different product in the playoffs, as opposed to regular season hockey.
The intensity is higher.
What if you were watching a game I forget which game it was. It was Montreal when they were playing Vegas, and like there was some really crazy shit. And again, like going against Montreal, where it was like, whoa, like they were letting shit go. Like even the Kucherov thing.
Yeah.
You see him get cross-checked? That was the ref is right there. That's one of your superstar players. You need to protect these guys. Like, so if you're at the beginning setting this precedent of we're not calling shit, it's going to get chippy. People are going to get hurt. And that's what's going to happen. So, like, it's like anything goes. But then if you do call a penalty and it's chintzy, it's like, well, then what are we calling here? So that did happen a few times where, like, I think Montreal, it might have been Suzuki, like, kind of like little hook. They called it. It's like you've been letting everything go. This guy had a tomahawk on the end of his stick and chopped the guy in the neck. And you're like, fair game as he bleeds out. We'll just use it as the red line. We'll spread it out. Like, there has to be a standard. You have a rule book. And it's like, yeah, call the game the way it's supposed to be called. Or like, why are you changing it just because it's playoffs? Like, if there's an infraction, call it.
Exactly.
Like, the only times you're seeing penalties is like puck over the glass, too many men. But physically, you can kill a guy, and they're like, play on. I don't understand why it's so much different. They always have the same referees in there. This Chris Lee guy, I mean, Lou wanted to punch him in the face. It's like he clearly had a bias. And maybe he didn't mean to, but he was clearly biased calling these really stupid penalties on Montreal where it's like, you're going to call that, but you're not going to call this other thing that Vegas just did that, like, it was egregious. It was obviously a penalty, and everyone watching the game can see that except you with the stripes on. You know, I know refereeing isn't an easy thing to do. I've never done it, never would, but like, be consistent.
Yeah, then that's the thing. And we see that in all sports, like in NFL, sort of like the phantom pass interference from the Saints game a couple of years ago, and then like baseball with the strike zone and all, like you got to have some consistency. Like
there is error, but
and it's human nature. But if it's a blatant thing, like you said, a guy's getting freaking decapitated there, then
you have to call it. You have to, and it has to be immediate. You have to, because it's a thing. You're setting the tone. These guys are professionals, right? These hockey players are professionals. And if you let something go right away, then you have to let it go the whole game. You didn't call the first one, so you have to let it go. So that means the referee has to be on. The first few minutes of the game, you see a penalty that you're like, you know what? That's a penalty. Calling it.
Call it.
Every time.
Set that tone early.
So there's no confusion.
This is the way it's going to be.
Yeah. So hopefully they don't have any problems in the final. So we break down the final right now with Montreal and Tampa, which is really odd for me to say because they're both
Eastern Conference teams. Yeah.
So weird, you know, like Montreal winning was it the Wales or the Campbell?
Clarence Campbell.
Campbell. That's Western Conference champs. They've never won that in their existence.
That's like, the one thing that they kept saying during the celebration too. Montreal has never won the Campbell. Montreal's never won the Campbell. It's
So I think we'll see a good series. I mean, a lot of people are, Tampa's going to walk all over them.
They said that about Toronto.
Yeah, you don't get to the final by being bad. In my opinion, I think Montreal, I don't even want to say they got hot because they're not scoring a lot. They score like 2-3 goals a game. They have Carey Price, who's been playing really well.
He's been playing amazing.
But what I've been seeing from Montreal is just the system that they've been playing defensively. And how they're limiting teams. You ever see like NBC does this thing, and I've never really liked NBC's coverage, but they call it like home plate chances. Have you ever seen this?
Like stuff that's right in the.
It's basically from the goalposts to the top or the face-off dots all the way to like the top of the circle and in. So it's basically that slot area.
Yeah.
It's like high probability shots, whatever the hell that means, because you can score from anywhere. But they were keeping Vegas, like Toronto, Winnipeg for sure, and Vegas all mostly towards the outside. And honestly, they were letting them shoot from outside of that home plate area, we'll say, because Carey Price is going to make that save 99 times out of 100, right?
Yeah.
And you hope the one that he lets in isn't going to cost you, but you're getting two extremely good, if not both of the two best goalies in the league, right? And now you're going to get an argument of, you should pay a goalie really well because look at Vasilevsky and Price. Yeah, but they're in an upper echelon. Like there's no one even close. Like people will say Hellebuck. He's not He's good. He's really good.
He's not the same level.
Not this. These guys can steal a game for you. Like, there was probably times where Montreal should have been down and out because they weren't playing well, and he's just bailing them out.
How many times did he save them during the Toronto series? How many times?
Yeah, like, but they have one of the best goalies.
Exactly. There's the difference that upper tier goalie as opposed to a guy.
The difference is Tampa Bay has the depth, but so did all three other teams, in my opinion. Toronto, way more depth than Montreal. Winnipeg, I thought they did, but obviously not. Vegas definitely has more depth on paper. But this is why I always say this is why you play the games. You find out, you're right. That's why you play 7. It's not just one.
To win
if it was a one game,
I'm taking
series,
Tampa in a 1-game series.
I could take Montreal though.
Oh yeah, there's definitely a way that you could say it. I'm taking in a 1-game series. I think Tampa, especially because it's at home too.
This is something where I find like Tampa being like Stanley Cup champion last year and being there before is going to obviously help them. Like losing to Columbus that one year where they got swept, was a good thing for them. That's why I think the way that Toronto lost is probably at the end of the day going to be a good thing for them. But with Montreal, they have no superstar, like not counting your goalie. Shea Weber's not what he used to be. Caulfield is good.
Is going to turn into it. Is he right now? No.
What, you think Caulfield's going to be a superstar? I think Caulfield's going to be a 30-goal scorer. I don't think he's going to be a superstar. He's not going to be bagging 45, I don't think.
I don't know. It depends how they go moving forward.
I think has more of a chance to become a superstar than him is Suzuki. I love Nick Suzuki.
Yeah.
The way he plays, like he's already got that like veteran calming type of, whenever I watch him, I'm like, he looks pretty chill with the puck. Like he's kind of confident. I know where everybody is. He's not panicky, right? Caulfield still looks like he's got a little bit of the, I don't want to say he has jitters. I don't want to say that. It's just maybe the way he's moving around the ice. I think he'll figure out that he doesn't have to do as much as he's trying to do.
Yeah, that's going to come over time.
Yeah.
The one guy surprised me, that's been surprising for me for Montreal, has been Corey Perry.
Yeah. I hate his guts.
But
so does a lot of people, but he's been very good because he was signed to be on the not the practice squad. Taxi squad. Sorry.
Yeah.
He's been playing regular. He's been an agitator. I mean, I know Lou will agree with me, but if there's one guy on Montreal that you shoot out of a cannon into the sun, it's Eric Stahl. I mean, he's useless. This guy stinks. Like he's he's done. Like you let him go in the offseason 1,000%. He's a liability. Watch him skate around for one shift and just watch him. He literally does nothing out there. He's so anemic and boring. I'm like, I don't know how you're in the NHL or how this guy scored 40 like 2 years ago. It's incredible. He's useless. Anyway, Montreal, Tampa. I mean, feel like it's what's up. You asked me.
Yeah, because obviously with COVID and restrictions and people in Canada, especially at the Bell Center, do you think that's where Tampa's going to have an advantage of having a full packed arena?
No.
The Bell Center's gotten loud, and we've heard it in games, and you don't think that's going to play enough?
No. I think once you're playing, man, honestly. Because it's like, I don't know, you've played like when you play hockey, like even if there's people there watching you kind of forget what's going on. You're in the game. Like I remember when we played at LCA, it was really cool when we went on the ice and oh my God, you're skating on the logo, you're looking around.
But then once
you start playing, you kind of forget where you are. You're just playing the game. You're in the zone. Yeah. Now it does help sometimes. I think the emotional part of the game, the fans are going,
especially game one.
But fans can also be a detriment to your team as well. Toronto, booing and freaking getting down on your team. It's like it's the first period. Relax, like they'll be fine. But that can deject a team too. I don't think the fans are going to have that. I honestly think it would be really cool. I want Montreal to open things up, like get people in there because watching the Stanley Cup Final, watching the Stanley Cup Finals with no fans there or like a lesser version of it. I mean that kind of sucks. 2,500
fans in there, but then the streets like the riot they had after freaking.
Did you see them picking up that tent and like
the tent is going. And then the
At one
cop
point it
car
was
getting
gone.
flipped and burned, and
Yeah. Well, I mean, talk about stupid fans. I mean, that happens all the time. Vancouver.
yeah, hey,
2011.
it's the 10-year anniversary of it. So now Montreal's gonna be the new Canadian team to riot. And
Yeah. So I can see that series going 7 easily.
yeah, I want to see a 6-7 game series.
I think
Just
you will.
as the hockey fan in me.
I have this just weird feeling about Montreal now. I just like I don't know because I picked them to beat Toronto.
Yeah,
I didn't beat them to beat Winnipeg,
I
but
had
that's where they
Winnipeg
kind of
beating
opened my eyes up, and then I had them beating Vegas. So it was like, might as well keep saying it. Like Tampa Bay's supposed to win.
yeah,
That's the thing. They're supposed to. But if Montreal can continue to play the way they have been, I think they could definitely hang with these guys and scare them. Because, but I think Tampa Bay is definitely the most high-powered offense that they're going to face in terms of their depth.
Agreed on that.
They've got scorers like their young guy, like Ross Colton, and like guys like that can score, but they're playing fourth line. Blake Coleman, they all can score. They're sneaky, right? But they're third line guys. But on another team, they're going to be top 6. Now Kucherov, I don't know what's going on with him because he didn't play in Game 7, did he?
I don't think
the Islanders. Apparently, he heard like someone broke his ribs, but he could be pretty quick with that. I don't know. But if he's there, then great. If not, even whatever, they're still really, really good.
Montreal will win if Marc Bergevin wears his red suit every game.
Got to keep wearing the suit, man.
That's a sick suit.
He's got that long
That's
hair. He just looks like
hair.
He looks like a grandpa.
He's
got the long thing. Like he got
Bergie,
so excited.
like
that's something that I was gonna bring it up as a topic. Maybe we can talk about it because it's changed now. But I think they have to redo the way they do the Jack Adams Trophy because when I saw it, because it came out in like this. When was that? Was it in the second round or third round? They came out with the nominees?
It was early or late.
Or not Jack Adams. Sorry, not the Jack Adams award. The GM of the year. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I meant coach, but the GM of the year award because it's him and I don't care who the other two are.
Lamoriello.
Yeah.
Who won it? And then
wait, did he actually?
Lamoriello won it. Yeah.
Okay, but Bergevin.
That's 2 years in a row for Lamoriello as well.
Really? So like Bergevin, I think they should do it by the end of the year. Or you know what? Do it at the end of the regular season. How about that? Why are we doing this in the playoffs? Because you get recency bias, right? Because if you take away this magical run by Montreal, you could have made an argument that Marc Bergevin should have got fired.
And that's what we were saying earlier in the year, weren't we? Like, well,
yeah.
I don't know if we were doing this at the time, but we're like, okay, Montreal is like.
It's just the way that things were going. Like, dude, I remember there were some Montreal fans, like I'm looking on Twitter, like calling for this guy's head.
Yeah.
Like where it was like, holy shit. I mean, okay, but you never know. Now they're in the final and everybody freaking loves them because everybody's, again, here's our theme, stupid and has a short memory. But like, that's the interesting thing where I went, man, if they would have lost to Toronto, right? Let's just say for fun in this alternate reality, in that Game 5, they lose. They're out in 5.
Does Bergevin get fired?
Yeah, I think you can definitely make a case
but
because he's been there for so long, and it's like, oh, you lost again? Holy crap!
But now they're in the Cup Final. People will probably want to give him an extension,
and it's the same roster.
Yeah.
So it's such a weird thing, like especially with the GM of the Year award. It's like, hey, are you doing it just for the regular season, or are you doing it for the playoffs too? Because whoever wins the Cup should win the GM of the Year, technically.
In theory, yeah.
In theory, I mean, you could look at things like, okay, like for example, let's say, Detroit this year was like 5th last in the league and they make a bunch of moves. And then next year they make the playoffs and they lose in the first round, but they make this crazy turnaround. Technically you could say you could nominate him for GM of the Year because that's a crazy turnaround. Oh, you got especially 40 more points than last year. That's incredible. That's really good.
That's what you got to look at. You can't, like I said, I would love to know what it's based off of. Is it based?
It's mostly regular season, and the GMs vote on it, which is really bizarre.
Huh?
Because that's what GMs think of Marc Bergevin, I guess. Was it like prank? Let's all vote for Marky Mark. Let's vote for Bergie. I don't know.
Is he the John Scott vote of the?
Yeah. We feel sorry for him.
Oh man,
it worked out though in both circumstances, I guess. So it's going to be an interesting series. I mean, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll probably only do another pod like after the series is done, I would assume, unless something pops up. Maybe we got a couple shorts in us on YouTube.
A couple little thingies on the tube skis. And then the next thing would be what, expansion draft coming up, and
I think expansion draft. We got the entry draft, which we might do kind of like we did for the trade deadline.
Yeah, and then
watch it live, the first round at least.
And then probably one of our favorite days of the year, free agent frenzy.
But I think it's not even really like, because you kind of know where people are going beforehand now.
Yeah, you have an idea.
It's hard to follow it like during the day, like trade deadline.
Yeah, trade deadline is I think number one, and then
we'll keep up on it.
Absolutely.
So anyway, until next time, it's Buschy and Bobo signing off. Go and follow us on Facebook. Go follow us on Twitter. Check out our website. And until next time, Buschy and Bobo signing off.
Keep on rocking in the free world.
Nice one. Talk to you guys.
Cheers.